But you're not forcing me if I consent to it.
I would like to have my money.
Okay, you don't have to hurt me to make an argument.
Earlier today, we did a thing you might have heard about called Change My Mind, except here at Anarchapulco, it was kind of hard to find people that wanted to change our mind on the fact that taxation is theft. So I went undercover as Statist Patrick to allow people to test their arguments and to sharpen their wit on me.
The arbiter of truth and all that is holy.
All right, my name is Patrick Smith. What's your name?
My name is Jason Stenchfield.
Jason Stenchfield, thanks for sitting down with me today. So we have a lot of people here that disagree with this one position that we've decided to talk about today. My position that I would like to have a discussion with you on is that taxation is not theft. And I would like to just have a rational discussion where you make the case that I'm wrong, or maybe by the end of it we'll both agree and we'll learn something. All right?
Okay, very good. So I'll present first, I guess.
Well, I'm putting my position out there. I'm telling you that taxation is not theft. Change my mind.
Okay, so my turn to debate. So it is your perfect right to have that thought. Nothing wrong with that. But I would like to maybe present my case on why I think it's theft to you, but not to push my agenda on you or anything like that. But I think I have a good analogy to show why taxation is theft. So I can have you hold the mic in your left hand. Okay, great. Are you familiar with any martial arts?
I used to do a little taekwondo.
Okay, cool. Me too. Me as well. Also, very little bit. A little bit of jiu-jitsu. So
that's much more badass than taekwondo.
Well, yeah, I'm not badass, but so you understand the concept of tapping out. Okay, cool. May I see your right hand? Okay, so let's do a little scenario. You are a man, a citizen, say United States. You have a wife, you have 3 children, a job. You're barely making it. You're in debt 20 grand. You're trying to play by the rules, and it's tough, right? But you don't see a way out. So I'm the tax man. I have the power of the IRS, guns, whatever. I have a lot of power of control over you, and I'm a threat, okay? And I want you to pay me tax money. So are you going to pay me tax money?
Did I have a say in the tax money?
Good question. My position as a tax man, no. You have to pay tax money. You have to pay me money.
But I mean, did I have a say in how much you're asking for and what it's going to be used on?
Okay. That, as a tax man, that's not really your concern. I would like to have my money.
But you're not forcing me if I consent to it.
I would like to have my money.
Okay, you don't have to hurt me to make an argument.
Feel free to tap out. I would like... Stop. Okay. So you just paid me money.
Yeah, you were hurting me.
Okay. When you tapped out, you paid the tax.
Yeah. I would have paid the tax if it was consensual.
Oh, you would have?
Sure.
Okay. But I wasn't answering your question.
I was asking questions about the scenario, not talking to the taxman.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. But that's the idea. That's how okay, so I'm not taxman anymore. I'm Jason.
I appreciate that.
So that's the way I see the IRS, is that they have this power to hurt you, to put you in jail, to destroy your life.
I agree that that's true, yeah.
Yeah. So, and what happens when there's a theft? Like if somebody robs you by gunpoint, they want to do harm to you, right? To get your money. So that's what's happening.
But I don't consent to a thief robbing me. I consent to the government taxing me.
Oh yeah.
And if you consent to a thing, you can't call that thing tax.
But it's like paying off the mafia to keep you safe, right? Would you pay off the mafia to keep you safe?
The mafia doesn't give me a say in how they run their operation. It's non-consensual.
Yeah, same thing with taxes.
No way. Like I can vote for people that want to reduce taxes. If you wanted to pay no tax, you could run for office, and I could vote for you to go into government to affect the government to reduce or to eliminate taxes.
This tax season, are you going to pay it?
If I want to lower taxes this tax season, I could run for office. I could vote for somebody that wanted to eliminate it. I could move to a place like Mexico that has low to no taxes.
Absolutely, I agree.
So I can't complain when the tax man comes around with bullies trying to have me pay my fair share of taxes.
If you're cool with it, then you're cool with it.
And if we're cool with it, you can't call it theft.
Well, that goes back to my first point. It's like you can have whatever perception you want to have and whatever thought that you want to have. If you're cool with it, then you're cool with it. But to better understand what's happening, and to see another person's perspective, why another person might see it as theft. That was the analogy that I was doing.
Well, everything I said for myself, I have the capacity to consent or to affect the system by living here, by not moving away, by running for office, by voting for politicians that have my goals in mind. Everyone has that same ability, so none of those people that have those abilities can say that they don't consent to it. And if they can't say that they don't consent to it, you can't call it theft.
But what if both sides of the parties are actually controlled?
Then start your own party.
And that has happened many a time, and it has never worked. So how are you going to start a new party to reduce taxation or even get rid of taxation?
There's multiple parties that I ran in the Libertarian Party because I liked their paradigm better, and so we could use that vehicle to affect change in the government. Or if I didn't like any of that, I could start a totally new party. There's nothing stopping me from starting a party and changing the way I'm governed.
So why didn't you win?
My campaign was unpopular even in the Libertarian Party, let's say.
Why?
My campaign was opposite of this discussion. It was for not governor of Texas to reduce and eliminate all non-consensual forms of government. So that is a character that I'm not playing right now for this discussion. In this discussion, I'm the guy that is making the opposite case of what I ran for. So you can't use what I've done in the rest of my life against me in this conversation. Is what I'm saying.
I'm trying to get to the core issue. Why was that so unpopular?
Because the libertarians are what I call linos, libertarians in name only.
Why is that?
Because many of them still believe that the government has just roles.
The government has just roles? Yeah.
In Texas, the Libertarian Party is mostly Republican.
What are the just roles of government?
So we're not talking about that campaign anymore, and I'm back in character. Okay. The just roles of government are anything that the people decide they are.
What if we decided to change the term government into a more true meaning? Let's call it the protectorate.
Okay.
So without the intent to govern or control, but rather to protect the citizens of a country, would that be a better form?
Well, the founding documents say that their only role is to protect our rights.
Why do they use the term government?
That's just what it's called. I don't know.
Did they use the term government?
Yes, a government derives its just powers from the consent of the governed.
Okay. We should maybe edit that. That's all I got.
Good try, man. Good try. Can I give you some feedback?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, let's see. The pain thing, I would never do. Because and I'm giving this to you feedback, because it makes the discussion very, contentious. What now? No, I know. Let me give you feedback, though. In the beginning, you were holding my hand to make a point. Yeah. And I noticed a difference in how I was thinking about the conversation. I was like, this is a much more direct, personal conversation that is meaningful, and I felt like we were both having a good, rational connection. Yeah. Because, and I'm not, no homo, that's not what I'm saying. It's just, I knew you were about to do something with my hand. and I appreciated that there was something additional there with the contact. I liked that. When you started hurting me, I just wanted to leave. Like, I think if I wasn't here if in front of a camera, the conversation would have been over. Okay. And when you started hurting me, now, like, this is not like, rationally, philosophically, this is not even an argument anymore. Now you're just hurting me. And I know that's the point you were trying to make, but I think to a normal person, I don't know about that. So,
well, and I wouldn't do that to a normal person.
That's totally cool. That was fun. I've never had that experience before. What I would have done, and I talked about this with the last guy a little bit, is I would have pointed out the contradiction, right? So every fucking person in the United States has been indoctrinated since birth with that saying that I used. The government, our government is what they say, our government derives its just powers from the consent of the governed, right? That means that it only has the powers that we give it, and we consent to all the powers that it does have. That's just, it wouldn't exist without our consent, basically. That's what we're indoctrinated with, right? The argument that always gets deployed when you start questioning government was like, well, if you don't like it, you're free to live somewhere else that has different rules. Like, if you're constantly in the minority in America, move to Mexico. They have much lower taxes. You know, you might have you can live anywhere in the world you want, and you choose to live here, so you consent to it. And nobody makes the connection that those two arguments are completely 100% contradictory with one another. Only one of those two things can be true. Either you consent to literally anything the government decides to do to you by living here. Full fascism. It can murder you, it can rape you, it can take everything you own, and you consent to it. It's okay because you choose to live here. Or the government derives its powers, its just powers, from your consent. And if it derives its powers from your consent, then you must have the ability to withdraw that consent and stay living here. Right? And so it can only be one of two things, and people will argue out of both sides of their mouth. Everything the government does to you is consensual because you live here, and it gets its consent because you consent to it. You can't have both. That's just something that I think would help some people in these discussions. I enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Why, yes, I was hoping you would patronize me. Patreonize me. Please consider becoming a patron. I don't know English.